Hello there, I'm Natasha Koo, the founder of Feminine Space, and welcome to another episode of this beautiful 30-day video series to redefine womanhood. And today we're going to be talking about how can we make positive, beautiful changes to our lives if we feel like we're somehow holding ourselves back and it's hard to move forward in that way. So let's get straight to it. Making positive changes without it feeling like pulling teeth, right? Without it feeling like such a struggle, like you're taking one step forward but two steps back. Because this is something that I totally get, how sometimes even though we know there's a positive direction that we can go towards, sometimes we still feel really hesitant, scared to go about doing that. So that's why I really want to cover this topic, so that it helps us to redefine womanhood for ourselves, especially if that means that we are craving for a change, we're craving for a transformation. That's something that I work with my clients to, support them, to help them achieve. So this is a topic that's really close to home, and I want to break it down right for you. And one of the things that I want to cover at this very kind of beginning is to say that change is inevitable. No matter how much we might resist it, might fight it, might find it difficult, most likely you might get nudges from the universe or from your life, opportunities or layoffs at your job, or changes within your family dynamics, whatever it may be, or even something positive like a new job offering, a new offer to live, be somewhere else, or all these unexpected opportunities that just come towards us when we are ready, right? When we are kind of in that flow and we're kind of just shuffled down by the universe to go in a different way, go in a different direction. So that will happen on its own, and it's not in our power to actually control the changes that are going to come up in our lives, because nothing is constant, everything keeps changing, and that's something that we can expect. So what if it's something that actually is positive for you, one that's helping you grow, one that's helping you take a look at what it means to be you, what it means to be a woman that feels right for you. And what I've noticed is that all of us, we have this feeling, we have this sense that we want to evolve, we want to grow, we want to become better and better, we want to become happier. That's this innate desire that we always have within ourselves. But what if we get that to a degree, but at the same time we feel like we're fighting this change? And then what, right? How can we still move forward? And so one message I really want to pass on to you in this video is that change is inevitable, and there is a natural course of things, and we can make it easier for ourselves by going along with it. But the only thing that makes it extremely difficult to allow that process to happen naturally and with our engagement is holding onto a certain idea that we have to be a certain way, especially if it's a way that we've always seen ourselves as, or the way that you see yourself to be in this moment. So to give you an example to help that make sense, right, is, for example, I met someone on a rooftop party here in Zurich, actually, one of these summers, and he's a police officer, but he was one of those people who used to be on the ground, working in the field, and it was really exciting for him. It was really meaningful to him, and that became a part of his identity. This really adventurous, this really intense police officer. But he had an accident at work that he had to take a long time to recover from, physically, and most importantly, emotionally. And he healed, he gained back his strength and his health, but it's not to the point that he can still perform in the field. So now he's working in the office, still a police officer, but just not in the field, not in the same way, not with the same excitement and the tasks that he used to have. And that really broke him. And sometimes if you look around in your life, people who you know, you might see how when a certain change happens that really throws our original identity away, then it might trigger all our beliefs of who we are, who we should be, who we have to be. And we might begin to notice in ourselves, or maybe it's happening to people around you, that even though change has already happened, we're still holding on to that past, that self, that concept of who we are, who we should be. And that makes moving forward, making that positive change pretty much impossible, because at least in our head, mentally, energetically, we're still looking towards the past and we're not looking forward. So this is one of the for sure ways that we can hold our growth back, we can hold our evolution back, we can try to resist the change, and it just makes it so much more difficult for ourselves. But that's the very important thing, that we can only resist it if we hold on to a thought of who we should be, who we must be, what it is that we're here to serve, our identity. And when we cling on to that as a truth, then we don't make any room for those positive transformations and changes to happen. So this is one of the reasons why when I start working with a client, or even exploring the possibility of working with a client, I must get a feeling within me that they are open to themselves, they are open to change, they are open to the unknown. Because if someone has already made up their mind that they want to stay the same way, then nothing is likely going to happen. And life will keep throwing those very dramatic events and situations to the point where you find yourself further and further away from where you started from, or who you think you should be. So this is purely an internal struggle. It's one that's just simply created by our thought. It's added on, like we add fuel to the fire by believing in it, by spinning in that story of who we need to be. And that's really easy to happen when we lose grounding of who we actually are. Because if you have experience of you, and you are able to just, from that experience, just know that you are something much bigger than the roles you play. You're so much bigger than the value you provide to others. You're so much bigger than just your career, or this label, or that personality, or even your body. Then that makes any change that might come along in your life just another opportunity to discover, to grow, to just fall into, because it is meant for you. So I really wanted to cover this topic because I know that sometimes change can be really difficult. But for us all to understand even more deeply where that resistance is coming from, how that fight is even happening, it gives us a key so that we can actually walk away, we can actually leave those thoughts alone and begin to explore the experience of who you really are. And from there, be open to the infinite possibilities that are before you. I definitely know that looking into the past, holding on to the past, trying to change the world in a way so that it really fits what we think is best, that's extremely tiring. And that can not only hurt ourselves, but hurt those around us. We'll always be invited again and again to step beyond what it is that we think we know, and what this is, what we think we are, so that we can dive in much deeper, we can feel much more, and life just becomes a much more rich experience if we open ourselves to that. So I hope that in this video you have taken away the fact that change is inevitable and it will always happen. But if you want to make a positive transformation and change in your life, and you're finding that difficult, one of the best things you can ever do is to take a look at what thoughts, what identities, what roles, what that kind of mental activity is happening in which I'm really buying into. And therefore I'm emotionally and energetically just holding on to that image of myself. And what if we explore ourselves as something that's just much bigger than just what the facade is, the identity, the category, all that we identify with just being a human and through the roles we play. What if we begin to see ourselves as much more than that? And how would then your transformation or change be more likely to actually happen to you and be there in your life in a much smoother, much more enjoyable way? So I hope that this video has helped you get a little new insight of changes, making positive changes and transformations, and allowing that to be a natural process, because it is. And if you find yourself really holding on to a certain thought and you're like, I have no clue how I can move beyond this, I don't know what I can do to let that go so that I can actually move forward, then please comment below or write me an email at natasha@femininespace.com, because I totally get it. Change can be hard, change can be difficult just because it's something we've never experienced before. But that doesn't mean that that is a factor, that should be a reason that it holds us back from discovering life, from discovering ourselves, and from redefining what it means to be a woman for you. So thanks for watching. Make sure to give me a thumbs up if you like this video, if it's helped you, and most definitely subscribe for more videos that are coming up every single weekday. So thanks so much for being here for yourself, and we're going to keep on going on this journey, because there's a you that wishes to just come out, being who you are, expressing who you are, and all the gifts, all that bundle of joy that is for you to experience. So let's keep on going, because this journey is for you. This whole video series is here to guide you, to lead us along this journey as we find out who we are, when maybe we have forgotten over time because we keep pleasing everyone else, or keep doing all the right things for everyone else but ourselves. So let's put ourselves back into the radar, let ourselves be the center as we then come from within and enjoy life, be ourselves, live in a way that's completely aligned with who we actually are. So have a really good one, and hope to see you in the next video. Bye!